Warning: the following show contains mature content of a graphic nature, including language and violent video gameplay. Viewer discretion is advised. Welcome to the Chieftain Show. I'm your host, the Chieftain. Now you notice I'm dressed a little bit different. Lighting's a little different. It's a special show. It's the ladies of Xbox. We also have a female star player of the show. Her name is Quicksilver. There'll be no commentation during the Camper of the Week or the star player of the show. Our campers of the week are Rockstar 940 and Pistol Whipped 89. There's no need for commentary on this. It's blatantly obvious. So sit back, relax, and enjoy it. I'm your host, the Chieftain, and I have two guests with me. One is a 37-year-old from Texas, mother of two, programmer, and she also helps her parents run her parents' business, Wild Blue-Eyed Girl. And our second guest is fresh from back surgery, a 20-year-old IT specialist and network administrator from Ohio, Zombie Killer. Welcome, ladies.
Thank you.
I'm going to get right into it, and I'm going to ask you our first question. I'm going to start with Wild Blue-Eyed Girl. What was the first game you've ever played and why, if you can think back that far?
Wow, okay, go easy on the think back that far. First game I ever played, honestly, as far as what got me into video games, was on the Commodore 64. And it was Centipede and Miss Pac-Man. Came with a roller ball, plug in the cartridge. We were ready to go. It was awesome. You also had the option to type in like 5 pages of things and then make the ball bounce around and pages upon pages of coding to do this. And that's really what got me started into computers as well as video games.
Wow. The Commodore 64, was that the computer that had the hard drive inside the keyboard?
It had like an expansion type of thing with it, yes, I believe. But there were still computers out there running, the huge floppies, back
Right.
and forth. But, it was the first generation of home user-friendly computers, with game-based systems.
Wow. Okay, I remember that myself. I'm aging myself as well. Zombie, what was your first game or games that you ever played?
It would actually be the original arcade games, probably Mrs. Pac-Man or Pinball, Centipede, things like that. Back in the days, hanging out at the bar when I used to be a bar back. So that's how I started playing.
Okay. I'm from a pinball family myself. My dad actually bought a pinball machine when I was a kid because he was a big pinball player when he was a kid. So we had one in our basement, so I can kind of relate to that as well. And we'd always play back down in the basement pinball games and Missile Command. Those are the two games we would play. So in between both you guys, I'd play both those games. So that's pretty interesting that we all have that in common. That's really cool. Second question goes to Zombie Killer. What got you started playing video games in the first place?
Probably boredom, like I said. I started playing these games at a bar. My dad's friend had a bar of his own, and my dad would go in and help him out before the bar would actually open or whatnot. So, I'm not old enough to drink, obviously. So what else is a young kid going to do besides eat beef jerky and candy bars? I drink Shirley Temples.
So Shirley Temples and video games was basically your childhood.
It was.
That sounds like fun. What about you, Wild? What got you started playing video games?
When I started playing video games, well, I started with Commodore, and also, and you're going back to when Zombie's talking about, kind of being stuck somewhere. we were in the middle of nowhere, a little bitty town, and there was like a pizza joint in town, and of course the arcade games and Dirk. If you're not familiar with Dirk and Dragon's Lair, that was a real popular game during the time that we would go hang out there, and so that was another quarter-fed machine that we just totally dominated on. Never really quite made it all the way through. But even when the Xbox first came out, the original Xbox, that was one of the first games I bought. It just brings back memories. So, we still play
what
Pac-Man.
got you started?
What got me started? Mainly.
You talked right around the question. You're like a.
I did. Yeah, I know. I was like, well, honestly, I have 2 children, so when we went online with Xbox, I've always been into computers, and I wanted to know what they were doing, and I wanted to know what was out there on Xbox Live. And initially, we started playing games together, and then they found their online friends, and I found mine and my own age, and so that's kind of what got me into it as far as the online gameplay was the kids themselves, and just being able to do something with them and monitor as well. So that was a big part of it, yeah.
Wow, okay. Being a mom, getting involved with your kids, that will be a way of doing it. How many Xboxes do you have in your house?
That are hooked up. we have 4 that are hooked up at the current time, and I dabble on the side. So of course, if it's broke, I can fix it. But we'll just
it's
leave
good
it
to
at
have a
4
mom that's a programmer, right?
Yeah.
So she can fix the game.
Exactly, that and controllers and games and everything else. So yeah, we'll just leave it at 4 and call it good.
Okay, Zombie, same question. What's the most frustrating thing about playing online games in a male-dominated environment?
Hearing that I need to go make somebody a sandwich, or that my balls need to drop.
You mean baseballs?
Well, yeah, exactly. Hey little boy, blah blah blah, that kind of stuff. But probably the worst thing is as soon as somebody hears me talk, I automatically get called names. And pretty much, it might be just one person that continues to harass me the whole time. Or if they're in with a group of buddies, or just a bunch of other jerks that want to join in on the fun, the whole lobby. But, it's whatever.
Well, you don't have a name that really partakes a woman's name. It's Zombie Killer. So if you never even had a mic, they would probably think you were a boy. You don't have a name like Wild Blue-Eyed Girl. So that could be an issue. It's like, this could be a 12-year-old 12-year-old boy, or an adult woman.
On that note, I actually did change my gamer tag at one time, and it wasn't very nice. But I actually went back. And it was strictly, like Zombie was saying, the hazing and the name calling, and you're just on here to play and enjoy yourself.
Have fun.
Yeah, just to have fun. And you usually surround yourself with people that are of like mind and hope for the best. But you get those jerks consistently.
Yeah, exactly. That's why there's clans. There's actually women-based clans. Like there's a clan called the PMS clan, and actually Allied Gaming has a clan that's all women called Killer Kisses, because they get frustrated too, and they just want to play with their own kind, own gender, I should say, own kind, own gender. It's a little easier to play with a bunch of girls sometimes than it is with a bunch of guys, and it is. I can only imagine how frustrating it is. I've been there, but with both of you playing, and I can hear all the stuff that you guys are going through, and that's why I went over and decided to do this show, give you ladies a voice, and hopefully I did, and I appreciate you guys for coming. And I got one more question for you, and it's not a women of Xbox or ladies of Xbox question. I was wondering, as you hear me bitch about the updates and the stuff that they screw up with this game, I figured you guys would have a chance to actually discuss this a little bit. on an update. They added the new map, Black Box, but I'm not really going to talk about that. I'm going to talk about the 5 new prestiges that they're going to add, that they actually added, and the 5 more that they're going to add after that. What do you ladies feel about them doing that?
Take it, Zombie. This is totally your area.
I think it's great, but it's also a huge joke. As far as it's just a cover-up for them not dropping the map packs as it was planned. A way to kind of stretch it out so people will keep playing and have a reason to either buy the map packs or go ahead and join Elite, in my opinion.
Right. I agree.
So it would be different, maybe if it was a little bit later after most of the map packs have dropped. But I'm just not really impressed overall. But I like the fact that I'm not going to be done at 10. That's kind of nice. But, I don't know. It's just a big cover-up, and I just don't think they know what they're doing. I mean, they do, but they don't. They're screwing us over again. It's kind of
that
like
one.
Black Ops. They just want to keep sucking us dry.
Points by points, definitely.
Yeah.
Or in the Elite, a lot of people are skeptical about it, and you go, is it really worth it? And I can't play with my friends because they have this and I don't, and it's all a selling tool, I think. You put something out there, you market it, and you add on to it, and you make it sound like it's going to be something spectacular, and everybody's got to go out and get this, and so everybody's pumped, everybody's excited, it comes out, and you're just like, really? That's it? That's all I get? That's it? So, not that impressive.
So you guys both agree that it's more like a marketing ploy rather than making the game better and just kind of stretching us along?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
The game plays like
Totally.
crap. I mean, why don't they fix the connection issues and the host issues? I'm so tired of, you have that 1 or 2 people that are lucky enough that the game actually plays as it should. And here I am, playing at a 4-bar like I'm 2-barring.
Right.
Yeah.
There's no reason why, just because the other guy's already aiming at me, that I shouldn't be able to get a shot off.
Right.
Sorry.
Lag. We've all been in the lobby when that happens, so yeah.
Back with Modern Warfare 2, that was my real first playing online game. And it was amazing. It doesn't have all the extra bells and whistles, but, are we paying, risking not having good gameplay for the extra crap that we don't really need?
The maps I believe that the maps in 2 were better, and I think the spawn points were better, and it's like they've tried to cram so much into it, and by doing so, they've lowered the quality of gameplay itself. The graphics are great, everything's great, but the gameplay itself, the servers can't handle the load, and unless they decide to go in there and actually dedicate more servers, it's always going to have, 2 people in your lobby that are going to lag.
Yeah, the reaction time is just horrible.
Exactly. And if they had independent servers instead of having one player be the server, they'd be better off. And I went over this in a previous show. They made $1 billion in like 2 weeks. You're telling me that they can't put independent servers? World of Warcraft makes a lot of money, and they have independent servers for World of Warcraft. And by putting Elite in, they're trying to compete with World of Warcraft people by putting this little Elite thing and getting downloadable content and stuff like that. Now they're making all this money.
Go ahead.
I finished, and I think you guys are absolutely right with that. If they actually do have an independent server, there would be no issue. But everyone's at a disadvantage except for 2 or 3 people, and it's not fair. I always say that
not everybody has business class T1 or T3 lines either.
Right.
True. Yes, definitely.
What were they running on when they did all the testing? It's not going to be.
They're on T8s. They're massive amounts of bandwidth.
I've worked in the gaming industry at a couple of companies that I won't mention, and when they test online content, it's all T1 lines and stuff like that. They don't take in regard the actual the server lag or anything like that, but people complain about it all the time. So I would suggest, if you have issues with this, I suggest you call the 800 number on the back of the game, the actual packaging. There's an 800 number for Activision, and just complain. Go to the email, go to Activision.com, find an email. And I think everyone should do this. It should be like a groundswelling of players. We spend a lot of money on this game. If you pay the bare minimum, the $60, and then you figure you have to pay the downloadable content if you get Elite or not, it's going to be another $60. So it's $120 a year to play a game that's flawed. It should be fixed. You're paying all this money. It should be fixed. And yes, they lost a lot of people during this Activision Infinity Ward kind of coup that they had. So they lost a lot of artists and a lot of designers. So the game is not as good as it should have been. So, I mean, I'm not defending them. I'm just saying this is what happened.
Well, they need to fix it.
I agree.
If they don't have the right people to produce a quality product, then guess what? Those people need to be looking for another job.
Yeah, they should hire me. That's all I should say. They should hire me. I'll go to Santa Monica, and I'll make it look awesome. But they won't hire me, because I'm the Chieftain.
I mean,
and on that note, I'd like to thank our... sorry, we're running out of time. I'd like to thank our two guests, Wild Blue Eye Girl and Zombie Killer. Thank you, ladies, for stopping by and making a great show and nice little banter at the end there. And we'll see you guys next time.
All right. Game on, guys.
Thanks.